Republican Congressman Tim Burchett is on the House Oversight Committee. He joins me now. I first want to get your reaction to what James Comer told Fox Business this morning. He's going to issue subpoenas to President Biden and Hunter Biden. This comes down to bank records. Does your committee have the proof that it needs?
Yes, ma'am, I feel they do. This has just gone on so long. You've got, I mean, how many millions is it going to take? $20 million that flows through these accounts, these fake businesses they've established, and then they write the exact amount of money from those illegal transactions to the Biden family members, even minors. You know, you've got an oligarch that sent money to them that was left off the sanctions list, oddly enough. It just goes on and on. It never, ever stops. And the next one's going to be a really big one. And I feel like Chairman Comer is playing this hand very well.
The critics of the GOP, you and your colleagues on this committee in particular, this is political. This is about 2024, and that you don't have the evidence needed, but you maintain that you do.
Yes, ma'am. That's the argument CNN makes. I mean, they might as well just get their checks from the DNC. It's completely bogus. How much more do we need? You see the exact amount of transactions that flow into these accounts. These are crooked people. You have Joe Biden bragging about having a man fired who is investigating his own son for corruption in another country. And he's on tape bragging about it to the national media, and they just fall all over themselves. But what you're seeing now, I believe, the chinks in the armor, you're seeing some Democrats peeling off. They're going to start looking for somebody new for 2024. They're going to use Joe Biden's mental capacity, and they're going to throw Hunter under the bus. Bigger than daylights, ma'am.
Let me ask you about Hunter then in particular, because after Devon Archer testified last week, I mean, he filled in some blanks, but he left some things somewhat unanswered. One of the questions was, you know, did you actually hear President Biden talking business on the phone? And Devon Archer said, no, I didn't. It was more about the brand, or, hey, I can pick up the phone and call my dad. Aren't I cool? But is that enough, do you think?
Well, I think it is. You have to look at what happened. And, of course, there was meetings that went on afterwards with these folks. And I believe Chairman Comer will lay out a pretty specific path of favors that were granted. These are folks, and you got to realize these people that sent this money are criminals. They're on the run. Most of them are, or they're incarcerated, or we don't know where they are. So there's a lot of unanswered questions, but I think it's pretty obvious what's going on. And I think also, you know, this is how they got Al Capone. He just didn't pay taxes. There's no record of them paying any taxes on this $20 million. You know, if you and I sell $600 worth of stuff on eBay, guess what? We get a letter from the IRS. That's just there's a two-path system in this country. The Biden crime family syndicate and the rest of us. And currently the rest of us are getting pretty ticked off. And I hope those 20 million people who decided to stay home in the last election realize what they got us.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Congressman Burchett, thank you very much for being here, sir. We'll look forward to hearing from the next phase of the investigation from your committee.